I'm very happy to be talking to Kyi Curwen today. Kyi is 19, he's from Thailand, and he's a bicycle renegade. So, hello Kyi, it's very nice to be talking to you.
Hello, it's nice to be talking to you too, John.
And you're talking to me from Thailand, you're in Chiang Mai, is that right?
Yes, yes, I am.
Very good.
I'm in Chiang Mai.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. What is a bicycle renegade, and why are you called one?
I, so the person who shot this video is my friend. She wanted to shoot this video of me. I don't know why. I mean, I
The,
can
the
see
video
why
you're talking about
after I
now
watched
is
the video.
the video you're talking about is the Seeker Stories video, is it?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
And so she said, "What do you want to be labeled as?" And bicycle gorilla, bicycle, leader, bicycle mechanic. I was just gonna go with like bicycle community organizer or something like that. Something. It was too long, and she said like there's no punch. And I was like, okay. And so she's like, how about bicycle renegade? So I was like, okay, sure. That sounds good. And so I just roll with it. I was like, okay, bicycle renegade. That's what I'm doing. And yeah. So I mean, it sounds cool. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. I mean, it turned out well.
Okay, so what is it that's renegade about what you're doing? Like, don't people cycle in Thailand?
People do cycle. They not like a majority of the people. A very very small number of people, and I'm hopefully getting bigger. And actually, there's a gaining number of people now, but it used to be not a thing to cycle. It's too hot. It's not cool. It's like there's a searing heat, and it's just hot out there, and it's humid, and you're sweating,
Yeah.
and but there's still some fun. It's fun, and it's like it's super cool, and I wanted uh people to understand that it's so easy to live on a bike that you don't have to like use money. I mean, you don't have to waste money on petrol. You can be fit. You don't have to, it's just so simple. It's such a simple way of living to use a bike as your daily, transport.
So,
And
I know what you mean about. I've been to Thailand. I was in Bangkok and I was in Phuket. Now, is Chiang Mai? Does it get hotter as you go more north?
um, not not really. I mean, in Bangkok, it's hotter. It's hotter than Chiang Mai.
Oh, okay, because I remember the heat in Bangkok and it was stifling. And I lived in Australia for 10 years, and I lived in Brisbane, and Brisbane is quite tropical as well. So I know what it's like to to do anything in the heat. So when you like cycle somewhere, do you arrive in a big like sweating mass when you get there, or have you figured out how to avoid that?
I like to say that I don't sweat a lot. I don't sweat a lot at all. I don't know why. It's just I don't know, the pores in my body just don't. But I don't sweat a lot. I sweat like just one layer, and then it's like a film, rather than like I'm like dripping sweat, unless I'm like racing somebody. But if I'm just riding normally in a casual day-to-day ride, I just don't sweat like
And
madly.
and
But
do other people sweat? Like,
I feel that other people like. So I feel that the grandma that rides down the street doesn't sweat that much. Like she's fine, like she's all cool. She does it all the time, and I feel that if you're used to it, you're not gonna sweat.
okay.
And I feel like your body gets used to it. But there's yeah. So I feel that you just have to practice a little bit, and then you'll get it.
Get
But some
used to
people
it.
are not lucky. Sometimes people like foreigners here also that live here, expats also ride all the time, and they've kind of adapted. They come from another climate, and so they're always sweating. But they still ride every day. They still ride every day, and it's really good, and it's really I appreciate it, and so I mean, even if you're sweating a lot, they still like it. It's still good. I mean, because Chiang Mai is a relatively flat city. It's just like flat. I mean, if you want to go against the mountains, you can, but like all the city area is just flat.
Yeah, okay. So, is there like what you were you kind of pushing back against the kind of pervading culture of the motorbike, because it's motorbikes are pretty popular, motorbikes and scooters are pretty popular
Yeah,
in Thailand,
yeah.
aren't they?
Motorbikes are really cheap, right? And you can buy them for like 6,000 baht, which is like 6,000 baht. How much is that in quid? I'd say like it's just for like 200 quid.
200 pounds or euro
Two,
or
yeah, 200 pounds.
dollars?
Sorry.
Two hundred
Yeah, 200
pounds.
pounds.
Okay,
So like 300 pounds,
for a
just that
motorbike.
for motorbike.
Okay, yeah. And how much
So
is how
you
much is
can
a
just
bike?
a bike, like that's what I mean. Like and you compare it to a bike, and so like a reasonable bike that you can use every day in your life, and that it's gonna support you. You're gonna pay like 6,000, 4,000, 5,000, just about the same.
So it's maybe the same, yeah.
So it's really like it's not. So when a person looks at this kind of option, they're like, oh man, look at this motorbike I can buy for this much, and look at this bicycle I can buy for this much. One takes me to my office faster by 3 minutes, or I don't know, depending on where they live in the city. But if you live in the city, it's so easy to be it's just to make that choice. It's so easy for other people to just be like, oh, I'm gonna get on a motorbike.
Is a motorbike more of a status symbol than a bicycle?
Yeah, I mean, like, if the people feel like I met this person, I met a guy who was doing an interview, who interviewed me just 3 days ago, and he was like, he met this guy, and I meet other people that just ride for. You can see people here on the streets where they're riding bikes with no brakes, and they're like, just it's like a Walmart, a Tesco bike,
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they're riding a Tesco bike, and because it's just like made really cheaply, and they just ride it, and it's really good that they still ride it, but I feel that they ride it because it's just they have to, because they can't afford anything else,
Yeah. Okay.
not because they want to ride. So
Yeah.
I feel that it's like and so when you have a motorbike, you're like, oh, I can now get to my work on time, and and all this thing. It involves that, and also it's a status symbol. It shows that I can afford a motorbike.
Yeah.
That I'm richer.
So is that because most people don't know the actual cost of a bicycle? Because it sounds like they're the same price anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, like, they're the same price, and so it's not out there in the public that you can get this bike for this. There's like vintage bikes, which I mean Japanese old town, they're like Dutch bikes.
Okay, yeah.
So like Japanese bikes are like Dutch bikes in England.
Right.
So they're like these bikes that last forever, and they just take a pounding.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I want people to understand, that they can get here, and so that they can buy it for maybe like 1,000 less, or
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like trying to get them to understand that this is you can make the other option, but you have to first make them change their mind that they don't want to they want to ride to to work and do this, and understand what kind of lifestyle they're supporting.
Right. Because it sounds like the picture you're painting is that the average kind of person looks at you and kind of thinks you're a bit nuts, because number one, why are you exerting all this energy on a bicycle when you could have a motorbike for roughly the same price? People would think you're a bit more wealthy. Maybe, I don't know, girls would find you more attractive. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but all these things seem to be against what what you're doing. Is that right?
So like I have an expensive bike. Like I do. Like it is expensive, but I keep it all dirty and like very not good looking, so that doesn't look as expensive as the other people bike with carbon and all that. I mean, people here ride also for status. They also ride. So people who ride, there are a lot of people now that ride just for status. I mean, not just for status, but they ride leisurely with these carbon bikes that they ride once a week or once a month.
Oh yeah.
So these like kind of carbon bikes that they ride and up the hill, and around. So they ride for just sports, not day to day. I want people to ride to day life. You know, if you're gonna invest your money into like a bicycle, it should be like just so that it can work for you day to day, not just for this ride that you do like once a week.
Yeah, I think they're called mammals here, which stands for
Mammals?
yeah, it stands for middle-aged men in lycra.
Ah,
So they're like the weekend warriors. They kind of get the carbon bike out, and then they go. I used to see it in Brisbane as well. They'd cycle on the weekend, and they'd stop for coffee somewhere, and they'd sit outside like they were on the Tour de France or something, having the the little espressos and looking the part.
yeah,
So you're not into that.
yeah. I'm not a big fan, but you know, I'm just like I want bicycle to be the lifestyle. You know, to live by the bike.
Why is that?
Because it's so simple. I live outside the city now, and I can ride into the city in like mere like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so flat. And it doesn't take me a lot at all, you know? And I don't understand, like, people here can have, so there's like people who live in apartments, one room apartments, and then have a huge pickup truck, you know?
Yeah.
That costs like 400,000 baht or something.
Wow.
So I don't understand, like, this kind of, it's still, you know, people who live in a shack and have that car. And I just don't understand what's going through their mind. So I'm trying to let people know that, yo, you can just be on a bike, you know, and like use money for something else. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that just have enough, you know, and that to support this kind of, don't use so much fuel. That's basically what I'm trying to do, is to get them on bike, use less fuel, and to get less cars on the streets because there's so much traffic in the city.
Right. Okay. So you're kind of coming at it from a minimalist kind of point of view and an ecological point of view, and just that kind of whole slow, you know, the slow movement, slow cooking, slow living generally, is that kind of approach?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because I live on an urban farm, and like, I think that's like rubbed off on me.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of, so, but yeah, so I come from this kind of crowd, but yeah, I just want people to understand, because it's so simple. I want them to understand simple living, you know?
Yeah.
And that it's capable for everybody,
Okay.
and that you don't need to do this.
Okay. So rather than just kind of talking about it, you've done quite a lot of things to help kind of promote this. Like, you have these unsanctioned races that you organise. What are they, and how do they work?
I do different types of races, I guess. But so the first type of races I ever did were alley cats. It's because I like these bikes. I like these the thrill and the like. I like this community that the bike has, right? The community of the bikes, you know, it makes it allows you to connect with other people, you know.
Now, the alley cat community is the fixed wheel gang, is it?
Yeah, so usually it's associated with fixed wheels, but it's also associated with like young riders, right? So, I mean, there are also old riders that do it, and usually it's like, you know, this kind of hip thing that you do in the city, you know, and it's going fast, and you don't care about laws, and you know, this kind of thing.
So, what's the average age when you say young?
I say like 17 to like.
Right.
17 to like 29.
Okay.
So like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the age we're looking at here.
And how does the alley cat work? How does the...
So I give you a manifest. So at the beginning of the race, everybody comes to this spot where I've chosen, and everybody gets the weights for this manifest. Manifest contains a list of checkpoints where you have to arrive at the checkpoints to get checked off.
Okay.
And then whoever gets all the checkpoints done and gets the last one first wins the prize.
Okay.
So nobody, it doesn't involve, so you just have to be on a bike. There's no rules. All you have to do is be on a bike and be there the fastest, and you'll win.
Okay. And do you do these generally at night?
The first one started in the day, and then slowly, gradually, my races have like gone from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Now they're 7 o'clock.
Right.
And because my racers start saying, "Yo, can you make it later?" Because I have people that want to race, but they all want it they all have to get off work and come to these races. So I was like, okay, fine. So
and how long did they last? How long does the race last?
Depending on the racers, so if the last person comes in, like, could be an hour and a half. So they only have an hour and a half so after an hour and a half, all the checkpoints are going to be closed.
Okay.
So you have only an hour and a half. So anybody that comes in after that is kind of like, you're done.
Forget it.
Yeah.
And then
so,
I imagine that it's quite social then at the very end, is it? We all kind of get together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just hang out and have a fun time, and you can go out and, do stuff, drink, hang out, go to a restaurant, eat, We just do different things all the time.
And like, say the last one you had, how many people were at it?
The last one I had we have like this really tight community that do it. The people that really want to do it are these like kids ranging from 17 to the oldest is 24, 23. But there are 20 of these guys, and they all like to do this. And so the rest that come are like the people who are like like people that haven't heard of this before.
Right.
So they come. So it varies from like 20 to. So the best day I ever had, the most people I ever had was 50.
Okay.
And yeah, that was a crazy day.
And you don't get any problems from the police or anything like that?
No, I mean, like here they hold illegal motorcycle races, and I think, I mean, not like, I mean, so the police are more after that than me, because I'm on a bicycle, and they don't even, I don't think it even, because people don't see bicycles that in yet, like it's not this thing. They see it as like, oh, it's nice, it's all nice, and it's good. Yeah. And so they see like a bunch of kids riding. They're like, oh, it's nice, kids riding, So I'm like, yeah, good, They don't suspect anything, so they just keep on going,
Good.
Yeah.
Is the Alley Cat the same as the Stampede, or is that a different kind of race?
Yeah, Stampede Underground is the same. I named that my Alley Cats have different names for each name. I named mine as Stampede Underground.
Okay. Stampede Underground.
Yeah.
And you also organized Critical Mass. What's that?
Critical Mass is held all over the world, and I started organizing this when I was in like last year of high school. Right. And yeah, so they said, my teacher one day said to me, "Hey, you like bikes so much," and this is the same guy that put me on a bike, and he says, you got people's skills, and you should try and do Critical Mass. And I was like, what is Critical Mass? And he said, this is when they organize lots of people to ride around and protest to get people on bikes, or like to be aware of bikes. And yeah, that's what he said to me. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. And so I did it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing it now. So I haven't stopped. And
it started in America, didn't it? Critical Mass, I think it did.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was in San Fran, New York. I don't know, some big city.
Yeah. So how many people do you do it regularly, or you just did it once?
I do it every end of the month.
End of the month, and sort of the numbers growing.
The numbers vary. They go up and down according to season.
Okay.
I try to get people out there. But they do it's always consistent. Like, okay, it's like usually high season there's like loads of people. In high season there are like loads of people, and then low season there are like low people.
Is high season your high tourist season? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's like loads of people.
Oh.
But yeah, so I'm trying to reach out more into the Thai community than the foreign. I mean, I want the foreign community to be there too, but I want the Thai community to be there too,
Yeah.
like more,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah,
How
and
big? How big is the bicycle scene in Thailand? Would you say?
right now there's going to be a ride for the king, a ride for the queen, organized by the prince, and they're supposed to be they have so much registered that the site's gone down.
Wow.
So like this is in Chiang Mai, and it's like they say it's like right now, as of right now, they have 1,000 people.
Okay.
So growing. That was like 4 days ago, I think.
Okay.
So I have no idea. So like that's we're looking at the bicycle scene here. But this is all including everybody, the weekend warriors, but yeah. I think those are just like the more of the weekend warriors plus like the regular riders. Not for the like, the grandma and the rickshaw riders, not for those guys, not
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the guys that live it. Yeah.
Okay. So, as well as the races, you've also set up a community bike center. Is that right?
Yeah,
And
I do.
how
Yeah.
is that different from a normal bike shop?
So I wanted a shop where I envisioned when I was a kid, not a kid, but in high school, I like bikes so much, and I was like, how can I like have a place where people can hang out and we can talk about bikes and, organize events and have people just involved with stuff about bikes. And so I was like a bike shop. I wanted a bike shop. And so I wanted like a bike shop where people felt good to be in there, felt a warm atmosphere, and that they could like, learn about each thing. They can learn from each other and learn from, just being there. And so I thought of this bike shop, and that was so that it could help the community here to get on bikes. That was the goal of this shop. And so it differs in the sense that I want it to be community purpose. It's for the person. I don't want the person to come in and feel like he has to buy like loads of things, or he has to, it's not there. He's not there to get a new part. I'm there to help him, just to be like, here, what do you need? I don't have to be like, even he doesn't even ask me. I can be like, okay, you're free to use my space. That's all you have to know. I mean, if you need me, I'll be here. But yeah, I just want people to feel comfortable and understand and like.
Yeah. Okay. So, how did you get the premises and all that sorted out? How did you organize that?
So it's a long story. I don't know if it's that long, but I'll make. I think I can make it short. So my friend, the guy who put me on a bike, is part of this big permaculture, organic farming movement in Chiang Mai.
Right.
So they own. So this farm is a very famous organic farm, and they own restaurants. They own their own organic restaurants across town.
Okay.
And the guy who owns this farm is, well respected, and people listen to him, and he's very good. He's a very good guy. And so this land comes up, that this land for this person who owns the land says, hey, I have this huge piece of land that nobody uses, and this empty lot, and it's just sitting there, and I want, rather than selling it to make another condominium, I want someone to make good use of it. Right? So we're like, okay, I didn't know about this, but so Pun Pun goes in first, and so my friend who got me on a bike said, hey, there's this space coming up, and you should totally get in on this. And so I was like, okay, all right, I'll do that. And so I did. I jumped in on it, and so I just jumped in, and that's what I did, and I started building, and I just did it. I don't know. Yeah, I just do things, I just feel like it, and I just do it.
Good man. Yeah. Okay. Now, what are your plans for the bike center for the future? Because I know it's now that you've got it set up, you want to do more with it, though, don't you?
Yeah, I want to do like programs for like in schools for like people. I want to do like bike polo and do like bicycle events for like kids. and the community. So involving, I want to set up more events. So like that, to reach out, to get people aware of bikes, to start like kind of not like trying to like grasp people in the community to get on bikes. So to start introducing them so that people around them start getting more on bikes, and slowly, other people will get on bikes.
And will you be trying to change their perception of bikes away from the thing of, they're just a stepping stone to a motorbike, but, to re-shift their perspective to, no, they're great just on their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the bike polo, the school classes, anything else?
I want to do more with like, I want people to come in the shop and like kids to understand how to fix bikes, and so that they have a skill so they come in and learn how to fix bikes, and it could be a useful skill for them to have. And for people in the community, and have organized, workshops. And I want to do, I learned frame building, and I want to do frame building, I want to have a frame building workshop and this kind of stuff inside this, along with the community bike shop. Okay.
So it sounds like do you actually sell bikes in your bike shop as well?
Yeah, we do sell bikes, and we sell secondhand bikes, and so I try to work with my customers and my people, and to see how much they have and how much they can afford. I mean, and just to see how good of a bike I can get them on,
Yeah.
And I wanted to get like a good bike as good as possible for them.
Right.
And so, it takes a little longer because I have to go down to like a huge warehouse where there are like loads of bicycles, and so you kind of go through a million of bikes, and you try to search for. It's like a huge I don't know, what do you call those? Like a junkyard. Yeah, it's like a junkyard of bikes. Okay. But it's like a million. There are like a million bikes in this place, and so but I had to go far. I had to go like 500 kilometers out with a truck and get it back here for my people.
Oh, okay. And is your bike center? Is that like how you make your living at the moment? Is it like sustaining itself?
Yeah, that's how I just make a living.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now you've built yourself a tall bike. Is it still the only tall bike in Thailand?
It is still the only tall bike in Thailand. I mean, I don't know if anybody's had it, but everybody's like, "You're the only guy." I'm like, "I guess I am."
So I don't know. What's your attraction to the tall bike?
I was in Portland, Oregon, and so I was in Portland for 6 months, and to study about the bicycle culture there,
right,
and to see to do everything I could on it that had bicycles in it, anything that was involved with a bicycle.
Is that where you did the frame building?
Yes, that's what I did. Okay. I went to United Bicycle Institute, which is a bicycle school, so I could be a certified mechanic and certified this blah blah blah.
Brilliant.
But but apart from that, I went there 5 months prior to the course to study the culture, and so I joined all these events and gangs to see how you did this, and so all these gangs were the main organizers for cycling festivals, and they're not just like these hooligans or guys, they're kind of the guys that make fun of the hooligans on motorbikes,
right?
And they get on these tall bikes, and they have these like jackets with the gang sign and blah blah blah. But it's nothing. They're just like a bunch of goofballs, which is hilarious. But yeah, so they organize these massive rides with like 5,000 people and do party rides and all this. It was amazing. So I liked how they had this gang would do all these. It was a bicycle activist. These gangs were actually bicycle activists, and they just did this. And their symbol was the tall bike, and the tall bike is very very prominent in a crowd, and it allows to lead people. People feel more safe when you're in a people when they ride with me in critical mass. They feel safe when on my tall bike, because I can go and cut a car, and they will all follow me, and they feel safe.
Right.
I don't know why, but everybody moves out of the way when I'm on a tall bike. So in that sense, I feel that this is a very necessary tool when I'm doing events. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. But you want to make you want to get into making other bikes, is that right? Like
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of other bikes do you want to make?
I wanted to make just like, regular frame bikes, but I had customers come in. I had a customer come in, and this guy, he has polio, and he wanted me to start my welding, and he said he wants me to make hand cycles.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hand cycles, okay. And I never imagined myself trying to understand the world of hand cycles and how they work, and
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get into this. So we're looking into this now of making hand cycles. And so I'm still on this verge of starting off welding, but we're more towards the hand cycles.
Okay. Have you looked on Pinterest? Do you use Pinterest for that kind of thing?
Do you know the Radivis?
I do. I think I do.
But yeah, he's like a bicycle fanatic. But for just biking stuff, I search for for hand cycles. I look for just companies that make hand cycles.
Okay, yeah, it's probably better than Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest, and there's a lot of stuff about bikes, because I saw you're interested in making wooden bikes as well. Is that right?
There's a guy in town that makes bamboo bikes already. So he also offers classes and everything, and he's really nice. And he's the guy to go to, I think, for bamboo bikes, because he's been doing it for much more experience than I have, and I always direct people to him. I work with metal, but he works with wood.
Okay. And are you still interested in making cargo bikes, or has that moved on as well?
I want to make cargo bikes. Yes, that is what I want to make. Yes, I do. I tried to make a cargo tall bike, but that crashed and destroyed itself. But that because it was just a demo. It was just a demo to see like how the mechanisms work in a cargo bike.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone's listening to this podcast and they wanted to send you their old bike, would you accept them?
Yes, I would. Absolutely.
Okay, well, this is kind of my last question, and it's a question I ask everyone. If there was one thing you could pass on to future generations, what would it be?
If I could pass on to future generations, I would try to pass on the sense of importance of community and how great it is to ride a bike. And that's what I think, that the sense, to support this, the sense of community and of supporting, how important it is to support your own community, and how great the bike is.
Great. Okay. Now, as you were saying it there about a lot of tourists. A lot of people go to Thailand on their holidays. So you're in Chiang Mai, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody wanted to drop in and say hello at your bike place, whereabouts is it?
So if you look on Facebook, there's a map. You can click on the map and it will pop up, and the map will show it.
Okay. And what's the Facebook page called?
2 Revolutions.
2 Revolutions. Is that the letter?
The name of the shop.
The number 2, or is it spelled TWO? Revolutions.
Spelled TWO.
TWO. So if someone searches TWO Revolutions on Facebook, they'll find you. And
Yeah.
is Facebook the best way, or do you have a website as well, or what else are you on?
I'd say the social media is the strongest for us, is Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, okay.
Yeah. But our website is still being worked on.
Okay, and that's tworevolutions.com, is it?
.bike.
.bike, okay. And do you have any Kickstarter or GoFundMe projects or anything like that on the go to help you?
No, we have no. It's all been self-proprietary.
Oh, okay. And do you plan on doing anything like that in the future?
I plan on doing it, but I'm not. Yeah, I usually before I do that, I'm gonna just start. People around me. There are two other projects around me and on the piece of land, and they work by crowdsourcing and crowdfunding and the Indiegogo thing. Okay. And yeah, I followed my other. There's another group which is the Pun Fun group, which is the organic farm group. They just do it themselves, and usually the community around them just supports them.
Okay.
So it's not the internet. It's usually just the people around. Okay. That just get them out. So I've been just relying on that. So I feel that that's good, but I'm always open to. People always ask me if I'm going to do that, and I'm always open to do that, and. I'm not very good at that realm. I just think that when I go there, I think I just need a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know, just more practice and comfortability. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, you may not have a project in mind yet that would sort of send you to it, because it sounds like everything is self-sustaining. I know you want to expand and everything, but sometimes until you have a big thing that you want extra money for, then, that can kind of galvanize things into, make it easier to go and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, well, you're a very inspiring man, I must say. It's great what you're doing. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
And thanks very much for taking the time to have a chat with me and sort of explain what you're doing. And I wish you all the best in the future with all the different things that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in this podcast. Yeah, this is my first podcast, by the way. I've never been in a podcast. Yeah.
Well, you did very well.
Thank you.
It's pretty painless, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's good.
I've never felt this good in my entire life. Make me some spaghetti. Yeah, we are the Argyle Pimps. So buy us a drink. We're better than you thought, but not as good as we think. We are the Argyle Pimps.